All right, so buckle up, folks. We're diving deep into the X-Files today, and let me tell you, this one's a real head-scratcher, an episode that still sends shivers down my spine, even after all these years.
Yeah, this episode, it really sticks with you, doesn't it? It takes us to this seemingly peaceful town, Milford Haven, New Hampshire, but trust me, there's something rotten lurking beneath that charming facade.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking dark secrets, hidden rituals, and a whole lot of creepy crawlies. It's classic X-Files blending the ordinary with the utterly bizarre.
Exactly. And we've got a ton of fascinating behind-the-scenes tidbits to uncover as well. Little glimpses into the making of this episode that add even more layers to this already unsettling story.
So let's get right into it, shall we? We start off in what appears to be the most mundane setting imaginable.
Okay.
A high school parent-teacher committee meeting. You know, the kind of thing that makes you want to yawn just thinking about it. They're discussing the school musical.
Yeah, the age-old debate. Is Grease too racy? Is Jesus Christ Superstar appropriate for high schoolers? You immediately get this sense of a community that's, well, a little uptight.
A little bit, yeah. But here's where things take a sharp turn into the Twilight Zone. As the meeting wraps up, these seemingly upstanding parents and teachers don't just say their goodbyes. They light a candle, and get this, they start chanting.
A black magic chant, no less, invoking the Lords of Darkness. It's such a jarring shift from their earlier conversation about song lyrics and school plays. It's like 1 minute they're worried about Elvis hip swivels, the next they're summoning demons.
You know, I hadn't thought of it quite like that. The juxtaposition is brilliant. It makes you wonder what really goes on behind closed doors in these seemingly normal places. It's pure nightmare fuel.
And speaking of nightmare fuel, we cut to a group of teenagers out in the woods, messing around with their own brand of black magic at a makeshift altar. Teenage hormones and the occult, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, as you can imagine, a whole lot. They're reading from this old book they stole, and things start to get seriously weird.
Yeah.
Noises, rats swarming, and one of the girls, she just freaks out and runs.
She knows they've crossed a line, and she's praying like her life depends on it, which, it turns out, it might. One of the boys, Jerry Stevens, he chases after her, and it doesn't end well, to say the least.
Nope. He's lifted into the air, choked to death by some unseen force. It's brutal and completely unexpected.
The next day, they find his body, mutilated, missing his eyes and his heart. It's a scene straight out of a horror movie, and it's clear that Mulder and Scully are dealing with something truly sinister.
Oh, and did I mention it's raining toads? Because why not, right?
It's like the whole town is cursed. But of course, the locals, including those oh-so-pious parent-teacher committee members, they have an explanation.
It's the teenagers. They unleashed a demonic force with their little occult experiment. You know, classic blame the kid scenario.
It's so convenient, right? Like, oh, it's not us, the seemingly upstanding adults dabbling in black magic. It's those meddling kids. It's almost comical, the way they deflect responsibility.
But the weirdness doesn't stop there. Frogs falling from the sky, water swirling counterclockwise in the drinking fountain. Even Mulder gets caught up in it, thinking it's the Coriolis effect, which, by the way, it's not.
It's like the episode is playing with us, making us question what's real and what's not. Are these supernatural events, or is there something more human at play?
Classic X-Files, keeping us guessing. But then Mulder and Scully, they find a clue, a torn page from that black magic book traced back to the school library. And the last person to check it out, none other than Dave Duran, one of the teenagers from that night in the woods.
So they find Dave in the science classroom, and the kid is absolutely terrified. He tries to escape through a window. I mean, he's really lost it.
I can't say I blame him after what he went through. He finally tells them what happened, and it's a pretty disturbing tale. But in the midst of all this, one of the teachers, Jim Osbury, he starts to suspect something else.
He doesn't buy the whole demonic force theory. He thinks one of his colleagues might be responsible for Jerry's death. Which, you know, fair point.
Especially when you consider who the substitute teacher is, Mrs. Paddock. Because, spoiler alert, she's the one who killed Jerry. And here's the kicker. She's been keeping his eyes and heart in her desk. I mean, talk about creepy.
Talk about a dark side. It's like something out of a twisted fairy tale. It completely throws you off because you're expecting demons and monsters. And it turns out the real monster is just a seemingly ordinary person.
And things get even weirder with Osbury's stepdaughter, Shannon, who was also in the woods that night. During a pig fetus dissection in science class, the dead fetus starts moving.
It's so disturbing. Was it real? A hallucination? The episode doesn't give us a clear answer, but it definitely adds to the unsettling atmosphere and suggests that something deeply traumatic happened to her.
Oh, it did. Remember those accusations of sexual assault and ritualistic abuse by Osbury and the other PTC members? That's where it gets really dark.
Shannon breaks down and tells Mulder and Scully everything. About the rituals, the pregnancies, the babies buried in the basement. She even says her younger sister died during one of these rituals when she was only 8 years old.
It's heartbreaking, and it throws everything into question. You have Osbury denying it all, and Shannon's mother claiming her daughter's memories are false. It's a messy, disturbing situation.
It's a classic case of he said, she said, but with the added layer of the occult and potential child abuse. It's hard to know what to believe, but you can't help but feel for Shannon.
And then there's the confrontation between Mulder and Osbury. Osbury tries to deflect with scripture, but Mulder isn't having it. And when the basement door slams shut, Osbury just loses it. Accuses Mulder of being the devil.
It's like the guilt is eating him alive and he's lashing out at everyone. It's a really intense scene.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Paddock, she's playing her own game. She takes Shannon's bracelet and uses it in a spell, which ultimately leads to Shannon trying to kill herself during another dissection.
It's clear that Mrs. Paddock is pulling the strings, manipulating everyone around her. She's like a puppet master, orchestrating this whole chaotic scenario.
Then, Osbury has a change of heart. He realizes the others are planning to make Shannon the scapegoat, so he tells Mulder about the secret sect. But he still tries to downplay the abuse, saying Shannon's memories are just media hype.
He's trying to save himself, but he's also still in denial about the extent of their crimes. It's a desperate attempt to justify the unjustifiable.
While this is going on, Scully's doing some digging on Mrs. Paddock. And guess what? She finds nothing. No records, no history. It's like the woman doesn't exist.
Yeah, it adds to her mystique, doesn't it? It's like she's not even human.
And then she pulls off this amazing trick. During a power outage, she steals Scully's pen and calls Mulder pretending to be her, saying she's in trouble.
Talk about cunning. It's a brilliant plan to isolate Mulder and get rid of Osbury.
Mulder, believing Scully is in danger, he handcuffs Osbury in the basement and runs off to help her. And that's when the snake appears. A massive constrictor that swallows Osbury whole. I mean, talk about a shocking exit.
That scene is burned into my memory. It's so unexpected and brutal. It's the perfect blend of horror and dark humor that this episode does so well.
Mulder gets to the school, only to realize Scully never called.
Yeah.
Then they see Mrs. Paddock apparently being attacked by the remaining faculty. But it's all an act.
They capture Mulder and Scully, convinced they need to sacrifice them to appease the devil. Their faith has wavered, and they think this will bring them back into his good graces.
It's so ironic, right? These devil worshippers, so desperate to regain their power that they're willing to kill.
It's like the ultimate hypocrisy. And then the climax. It's just, well, you have to see it to believe it.
Mrs. Paddock, she pulls out a remote control and turns the faculty against each other. They end up killing each other in this bloody, chaotic free-for-all.
A remote control? It's such a brilliant and absurd ending. It's like the writers are saying, see, this whole satanic panic thing is just a big joke.
Mulder and Scully escape, but Mrs. Paddock is gone. The only trace of her is a message on the chalkboard. Goodbye. It's been nice working with you.
Creepy, right? It's like she just vanished into thin air. But before we vanish into the next episode, let's talk about some of the cool behind-the-scenes stuff from Die Hand Die Verletzt. The title itself is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, Die Hand Die Verletzt. It's German for the hand that wounds, which is taken from that creepy chant at the beginning of the episode.
It sets the tone perfectly, doesn't it? This idea of an unseen force that can inflict pain and suffering.
And speaking of unseen forces, this episode was actually a farewell from writers Glenn Morgan and James Wong, who left to work on Space, Above and Beyond.
It was their last episode for a while, yeah. And that chalkboard message at the end, it was actually their goodbye to the cast and crew.
How cool is that? It's like they left a little piece of themselves in the episode.
It's a nice touch. And speaking of nice touches, did you know this episode was also the directorial debut of Kim Manners? He went on to direct a ton of X-Files episodes and became a real legend in the fandom.
That's right. So this episode is like a double whammy of behind-the-scenes significance. New beginnings for Kim Manners and a farewell for Morgan and Wong.
Pretty cool, huh? And there's more. The high school in the episode is called Crowley High School, which is a reference to Aleister Crowley, the famous occultist.
Sneaky little Easter egg for the fans, right? And even the character names have hidden meanings. Mrs. Paddock is named after a toad demon from Shakespeare's Macbeth.
The writers really put a lot of thought into every detail, didn't they? They wanted to create a rich and layered experience for the viewers.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
And they even paid tribute to the fans by naming 2 characters after real X-Files, Deborah Brown and Paul Vateris.
That's so sweet. It shows how much they appreciated the fans and their dedication to the show.
Okay, now for a fun fact that's both awesome and a little bit gross. Remember those raining frogs? Well, they used real frogs for those scenes.
Really? I can't imagine how they managed that. It must have been chaos on set.
I can only imagine. And speaking of chaos, Dan Butler, who played Osbury, he was apparently terrified of the snake they used in the basement scene.
Oh, that makes sense. That snake was huge. I'd be scared too. It's funny how his real fear actually made the scene even better.
Exactly. Sometimes the best acting comes from genuine emotion.
And speaking of genuine emotion, let's talk about the satirical aspect of this episode. It's a pretty sharp critique of the satanic panic of the 80s.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's poking fun at the whole moral panic thing, how people can get so caught up in fear and paranoia that they lose sight of reason.
It's like they're saying, don't believe everything you hear. Sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we create ourselves.
Exactly. And then there's the recurring motif of doors throughout the episode. Doors as gateways to other worlds, to the unknown, to the darkness within ourselves.
It's a really powerful visual metaphor, isn't it? It makes you think about the choices we make, the doors we open, and the consequences that can follow.
So, Die Hand Die Verletzt. It's more than just a scary episode. It's a commentary on hypocrisy, on fear, on the dangers of playing with forces we don't understand.
It's a classic X-Files episode that still holds up today, and it leaves you with a lot to think about long after it's over.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder what secrets are lurking beneath the surface of our own seemingly ordinary lives. What doors have we left unlocked, and what might be waiting on the other side?
That's a thought to keep you up at night.
It certainly is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the X-Files, folks. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your doors locked.